All right. Welcome to another edition of Cory Means Business podcast, YouTube show. Anyway, I want to get into this week's subject matter. We've got obviously the continuing COVID update. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and how that's impacting businesses and everybody else going forward. And I want to get to go over some of the stats. As you'll notice, we've got a new studio. It's under construction here. It's not quite put together. That's why it's looking so different than normal. But we're going to do some really cool stuff here. We're going to build it all out. You can't see in the camera, but we got 20-foot high ceilings and all the space we could ever use. So we're going to build something really, really cool. So hang in there. The set's about to get a lot cooler going forward. COVID update. So as I'm sure all of you have heard, there's been a huge uptick in the amount of cases going on. Obviously, testing is way up. As well. They're doing, at this point, about 500,000 tests per day, which is coming up to about 40,000 to 45,000 new cases per day. There's some conflicting information concerning exactly what's being tested. From some of the stuff I've seen on the CDC's website, it says that if you've got antibodies, meaning you've had it in the past, or any other coronavirus, that you might be testing positive in the test. If that's the case, obviously we're getting a lot of false positives, not really new cases, which would explain, obviously, the reason why the deaths are way down as well. Because even though cases supposedly are up, deaths are way down and continue to fall, which is a good thing, obviously. Some of the other reason, too, might be the fact that a lot of new infections are just in younger, more healthy people, which we know don't affect very much, and not so much of the older population like it was at first. Thankfully, Cuomo and some of the other Democrats up in the Northeast are no longer shipping people into old folks' homes with COVID, so that's a good thing. That's probably also contributing to the reason why we got a serious decline in the death rates. So being smarter about it, obviously, as well as the younger population getting it, and that's causing the death rates to go way down, even though the cases are up. Again, which is all good things. The virus is proven to not really be affected by climate. It's not affected by heat, apparently. Most of the Sun Belt is seeing the upticks. I know for certain, like in Arizona, we've got a hot spot here. And, I mean, we're talking it's well over 100 degrees every single day. So clearly heat is not destroying the virus, which is very odd. If it was a natural virus, it should not be behaving like that. If you research any virologists, they'll certainly indicate that a natural virus that especially comes from an animal that's a very specific species that normally has been isolated, like this one was supposed to have come from. Usually when you take that virus out of its natural habitat, it either dies off quickly or mutates and no longer becomes infectious. This one is not doing either of those, which is very odd. Obviously not affecting children either, very odd. So there's a lot of different things going on with this virus that are very, very interesting with regards to where it came from and what it's doing and why it's doing it. I've never seen a virus not affect children. I've never seen one that's not mutating faster than this one is. Usually a virus will come through, a certain amount of people will get it, a certain amount of people will be affected by it given predetermined conditions or underlying medical conditions. Genetic factors obviously involved as well, and then it'll fade out. This one still obviously looks to be picking up speed, which again doesn't make any sense if it was a natural virus. So I don't want to get into a big conspiracy theory on it at this point, at least in this video, but this virus certainly inhibits some behaviors that a normal, naturally occurring virus that supposedly came out of some bats in the deepest, darkest jungles of China certainly is not behaving like that. So maybe we need to do some further digging on exactly why that is. The impact it's having, obviously, there's been a number of states that are closing down businesses. California, for instance, Arizona, have shuttered bars again, have shuttered some, California shuttered some in-restaurant dining, making only outside dining available again. There's also been some more restrictions on anything that's indoors. Gyms are closed down again. So here we go for another 30 days closure. The bottom line is I just don't really see that's going to make any difference. If the virus is not going to go away, which is proven it's not going to, the only solution we're ever going to have is going to be herd immunity. So it's got to, we have to let it run through the population. And the faster we let it run through, the faster we're going to be over it. And bottom line is, if it's going to be non-seasonal, if it's not going to be mutating, if it's going to be sticking with us, then we have to run through it as quick as possible. Another thing too, masks obviously are now mandatory almost all places. However, the masks are still, again, we get conflicting advice there. Are the masks good? But not good. 3 months ago, we were told don't wear them. They're worthless for the normal person. Now we're told they're going to save everybody's life. We get conflicting information from these government officials that are supposed to be the experts. I don't know if I trust these experts. They don't seem to know what they're talking about. It's flip-flops. They're wrong. I mean, geez, I think we could have got anybody to lay out the rules, and it would have been more accurate than what we've gotten. And is that intentional? I don't know. Certainly seems like someone that's supposed to be, or a team of people that are supposed to be experts in this stuff, every time they get asked about it, even though it's been 6 months now, 7 months now, this has been going on, they just don't know anything about it yet. They don't know anything about the virus. How do they not know anything about this virus? How have they been studying it? How have we had our best labs, the military, all these high-end specialists have been studying this virus for, 7 months now, 8 months now, if we conclude China. Nobody knows anything about it still, though. Nobody knows how it spreads, how communicable it is. Don't know how long it stays on surfaces. How do they not know how long it stays on surfaces? Have they not put it in a laboratory and watched it on a surface to see how long it's viable? These are some serious questions that don't seem to have any real answers. Like, why do we not have more information on this virus after 8 months? Doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's the COVID update. We'll continue to monitor it and see how it goes. Next week, I'll maybe dig a little bit deeper into it. That said, obviously it's affecting businesses. We've got, again, new shutters going on. Gyms are being closed down again in a lot of places in the country where it's flaring up. There's never been any proof that it comes from a gym. Maybe I could understand the bars. I know that a lot of bars have been being packed with people because they're so pent up. They need to get out and drink and socialize because all the social distancing. And so bars obviously have been where a lot of people have been conglomerating, and that makes sense that it would spread there. You don't have any social distancing. Everybody's talking to each other. They're all face-to-face. That I could understand. Gyms, no, gyms you can social distance. So I don't agree with the shutdown of gyms. You can certainly social distance at a gym. Everybody can stay 6 feet apart. Matter of fact, most gyms, you don't even get within 6 feet of people normally. So if you're cognizant of it, certainly you could stay 6 feet apart. So I am a little concerned why gyms seem to be the culprit. It seems to be a targeted shutdown to me of a specific demographic, specific interest is being targeted. I don't see a gym as being a place where they would be spread easily at all. Again, we've been looking at gyms the last month and a half they've been open. You have massive sanitation, everybody's social distance. You have everyone's touching stuff with their hands and touching their face. They know better than that. So it doesn't make any sense. It would be coming from gyms. Bars, yes. Gyms, no. Restaurants, no. There's no way that people aren't social distancing in a restaurant. So it's not coming from restaurants. So the bottom line is it's suspicious as to why the cases are picking up and what's causing it exactly. Seems to be a mystery to everybody, which it shouldn't be. They should have this tracked. They should know exactly how it's being how it's being spread among different people, exactly where it gets spread, how it gets spread, how close you have to be, not close you have to be. This idea that it's 6 feet and it's been 6 feet and masks didn't work and now they work and, it was gyms, but it's not gyms, but it is again, doesn't make any sense. So again, we're being fed this misinformation, and whether it's misinformation or disinformation, incompetence, it's intentional, I don't know, maybe a little bit of all that. Obviously, it's an election year. We know that parties that are not in power love chaos in election years, which brings me to my next topic, which is obviously what's been going on socially with all of the Black Lives Matter and all the social unrest, a lot of protests, statues, stuff like that. People are clamoring for statues to be taken down. Now, here's my take on statues. I don't think 99.9% of the people that walk by a statue even know who the hell it is, let alone why it's there. The fact that we're walking around and someone's like, oh, that guy was a Confederate general 170 years ago and he did this and that, I'm not buying it. What they're doing is they're simply attacking symbols. They're using things that can be used to symbolize our society, our civilization. And an easy thing to target is a statue, right? It's easy to target. It's easy to say it's this or that. It's easy to make it a symbol for whatever you want it to be for, whether you want to be for it or you want to be against it. You know, any person, almost any person I'd say, you can look at and say they've done some good, they've done some bad. So if I want to call them good, I can. If I want to call them bad, I can as well. But the question is why? Why is this being done? Why are people needing to seek an external source to blame their situation on? Which brings me to my next thing, which is don't be a victim, okay? So when we look at victimhood, and we know that our society, especially like the last 15, 20 years, has really rewarded victims. We know that socially, society's been rewarding victimhood. There's been a number of movements that have started regarding victims, and victims are revered, and victims are looked upon as being some kind of purity there. And whether, you know, of course, I'm not saying there's such thing as real victims. Of course there are. There's victims of crime and violence and sex crimes and everything else. Certainly there are victims of bad things. But to say that that is going to be spread out to a demographic or to a social group of some kind is just absolutely preposterous. No such thing. It just isn't. And what this causes for a lot of people, this victimhood mentality, is it causes them to fail. Now, if we look at it and we say, okay, if I can throw myself into some kind of a victim group, and there's this group of victims that have been created, I can throw myself in there, well, now I get to be part of the victim group. Even though I've not been personally victimized, somebody I know or somebody I'm related to or because of this, or somebody that's similar to me, looks like me, lives where I live, has my skin tone, believes what I believe, whatever. You can say, well, since they've been victimized and they're similar to me, I am now going to put myself in this victim group. And it sounds great. It sounds like, hey, you know, I want to be a victim too. I want to be a victim too. Me too, the Me Too movement. Well, the problem with choosing to be a voluntary victim is that you lose your power. What power do you lose? You lose the power to be able to control your environment. If I'm a victim of my environment, then I lose my ability to control that environment. If I go swimming in the ocean, let's say, as an example, and there's some sharks in the ocean, if I choose to be a helpless victim in that sea and in those sharks, well, then I'm completely lost. I'm out of control. I'm at the shark's mercy. Now, do you want to go swimming in the ocean and be at the shark's mercy? Probably not good for you, right? May sound good, may make a fancy, may make a T-shirt out of it, a political slogan, hashtag shark victim, hashtag, sharks are evil, whatever you want to do with it. The fact that I'm in the ocean and there are sharks, and yes, some will want to eat me, I just have to take that and I have to say, look, that's the environment. It's not that I'm a victim. It's just how that's the environment. That's the way that it is. The environment is dangerous. We get out of our bed. Sleeping on our bed is dangerous. We get out of our bed in the morning. We get up. We go outside. It's danger everywhere. Right? Car could come out of nowhere. Someone could walk up and rob us, mug us. All kinds of bad things. And you could crash your own car. You could trip and fall on a rock and smash your head. These things happen all the time. You slip and fall in the shower. 2,000 people a year die in the United States by slipping in the bathtub. You could be one of the 2,000. Hashtag bathtubs are evil. where do you not want to claim your victimhood? That becomes the question. So where, if you're going to be a victim in this situation, where are you not going to be a victim? So the problem with victimhood, the problem with signing up to be a voluntary victim is that you lose your ability to control your situation. You lose your ability to control your environment. And that's a very dangerous thing. I would never sign up for a voluntary victimhood. And I don't give a shit what someone who looks like me, lives in the place I live, does, believes what I believe, has the same heritage as me, whatever the commonality is. I am not going to sign up for their victimhood group. And the reason is clear, because then I'll be out of control and I will not be able to control my environment because I'm going to be part of the victim group. If I'm part of the victim group, I have no control. Now, do you think your life goes well if you have no control? Do you think your life is going to be what you want it to be if you walk out in the world being out of control? The answer is no. The answer is it's going to get bad real quick because you have no control. And so now you're relinquishing control to whomever the evil person is or whoever the evil group is or the evil thing, the system, whatever it might be, cops, judges, weather. It's getting a little rainy. It looks like some wind's coming into our studio here. I guess I can be the victim of this weather. It's coming in here. Oh no, I can't do the podcast anymore. The weather. Oh my God. Or I can take control and say, hey, weather, you ain't going to stop me. Okay. Hey, situation, you're not going to stop me. So if I'm swimming with the sharks, hey, sharks, you're not going to stop me. I came in this ocean to swim. And I came to swim well, and I came to get what I want, and I'm gonna fish, and I'm gonna get oysters, or I'm gonna get shrimp, or I'm gonna get lobsters. What I'm here to do, and there's sharks with the lobsters and the shrimp, right? But if I'm there to get lobsters and shrimp, because that's how I make money, or that's what I'm gonna take home to eat, and it's gonna be a hell of a shrimp and lobster fest tonight. Well, I can't worry about the sharks. Now, do I have to be aware they could bite me? Absolutely. Do I have to be a little smart and, and a little, take some precautions that, so I don't get eaten? Of course I do. But I'm not going to let the sharks affect my ability to get done what I got to get done. So what I'm seeing going on in 2020 is this idea, and again, it's been building up over the number of years, and the media has been buying into this crap with all the victimhood and victimization and Me Too and hashtag blah, 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 okay, and the T-shirts and the marches. You're creating a culture of victimhood. And the reason why we see these insane riots and protests over things that aren't even real on any kind of a data or a factual basis or statistical basis, we literally are making up reasons to protest. We are literally taking things like 4 people were eaten by a shark and I'm going to protest sharks, even though I need the ocean to fish and get what I need to live and prosper and for my family to live and prosper. It makes no sense. You don't burn down the environment or the system because you think that there's some type of a threat in it if you need the environment to be successful. So bringing it back full circle, when we talk about the riots and the protests, look, whether or not you perceive the police or the system or a certain race of people to be against you or not, I don't make this about whether it's true or not. I don't believe it is, but let's just say it was. All you will accomplish by signing up to be a victim to that is to destroy yourself. So let's just say the sharks, are against me. The sharks are out to eat me, and I say, okay, all right, sharks. Well, just to spite you, you damn sharks, I'm going to cut off my own leg so you can't eat it. Damn stupid sharks. So then I'm going to wage war on the sharks, not by, being able to eliminate the sharks, but not being able to affect the sharks at all. If anything, I'm just going to end up putting blood in the water. And if there are some sharks in the vicinity, now they're going to want to eat me more. That's all that gets accomplished. Meanwhile, I'm cutting my own leg off because I have this perception the sharks are out to get me. It has just as much sense. Obviously, that sounds preposterous, but so does the idea of rioting and claiming this victimhood. It does you no good. Instead, here's what you should do. Understand that there's things in your environment that you can't control, and there's certain things in the environment you can control. Now, I cannot control whether there's sharks in the ocean. I cannot. Okay, there are sharks in the ocean. There are. Not even a lot by cubic feet standards, meaning that there's not a shark in every square inch of the ocean, right? So if we look at the ocean on a volume basis and we look at the number of sharks, I mean, it's maybe there's a shark every, quarter of a mile. I don't know. It's not much. There's not a shark in every square inch of the water. So if I need to get in that water and I need to go fishing and I need to, go shrimping or capturing lobsters or clams or whatever it is I'm doing, whatever's going to bring me the bounty, whatever's going to bring me the money and the food. Yes, I have to be aware of the sharks. Yes, I got to pay attention, but I'm not going to fear the sharks. I'm not going to fear the sharks. I'm not even going to be angry at the sharks because any anger that I exude towards the sharks puts me in less control of my environment. I need to be in full control of my environment. If I intend to get the most shrimp or the most lobsters, I can't just be worrying about sharks every minute. I can't get in that ocean worrying about sharks. I've got to say, I understand there's sharks. I'm going to take certain precautions, but I'm not going to live in fear because then I'm out of control. If I'm out of control, I'm not going to get shrimp. I'm not going to get the lobster. I'm going to be just spending all my time worrying about sharks. And even worse than that, I might be dumb enough, like some of the people we've been watching, to cut off my own leg because I'm so worried about the sharks. See, it makes no sense. So understand there are sharks, accept the fact there are sharks, and get in the damn water anyway and get moving. So take control. Don't be a victim. So when you take control and you say, look, I'm not going to sign up for anybody's victim club. I'm going to take control of me. I'm going to take control of what I can do. I can't control the sharks anyway. So let me control what I can control, which is me and how I move and what I get done. So applying this to the real world, applying this to business, applying this to your job, of course, you're going to say, look, are there some people out there, maybe there's a guy a mile over that way, or there's another person like a quarter mile that way that doesn't like me for whatever reason. Do I worry about them? No, because all it's going to do is make me a victim and now I'm out of control. Instead, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to move the way I need to move to become successful so that I can prove everybody that can doubt me wrong. Because if there's somebody over there, a mile over there that doesn't like me, they don't want me to do well. So if I really want to get back at them, if I really want to get, revenge, don't go burn that person's house down to where now I've signed up for the victim club and now I'm going to jail and I'm going to have my life ruined. I'm going to cut my leg off to spite the shark. Instead, get done what you got to get done to move forward in your business and your career so that you become more successful, because nothing is going to piss that shark off more than I got into his ocean and I took out a bunch of shrimp and a bunch of lobsters and I'm back on the freaking shore counting my money, eating good. Okay, that's how you do it. That's what it means to take control. So never be a victim, take control. If you do that, your life will be immediately impacted. You'll immediately do better. The next day you'll feel better. Mentally you'll do better. Emotionally you'll do better. Financially you'll do better. Your family will do better. Everything is better when you take control. When you surrender control to anyone or anything, you are worse off. Remember that. So this week, I want you guys to make sure that you get out there and you just take control of what you can control. Get your skill sets going, get learning, get studying. If you don't have a job, get a job. It doesn't matter. Any job is better than no job. Get a job. If you have a business that's been shut down, find ways. If you got a gym, do some outside personal training. Okay, take some equipment outside and do personal training all day long outside. Find ways to make it work. Okay, a restaurant, again, if you don't have a patio, build one. Get out there, open a nice patio, summertime, weather's good, push a bunch of people, social media to come to your restaurant. There's always ways to overcome any obstacle. What you can never do, though, is be a victim. If I had a restaurant right now and they were shutting me down again, if I sign up for that victim club, I'm screwed. Instead, if I take control and do what needs to be done and just simply get it done, I'm going to win. I'll win every time. That's how it works. You win every time when you don't sign up for being a victim and you take control. So make sure this week you guys take control. See you on the next one.